I just want to remind you before I start my speech that the reason I'm sitting down rather than standing and presenting my speech is because I had my knee surgery last week. About 3.5 years ago, I was searching on Craigslist and I came upon an ad for an adoption event at PetSmart. After a little bit of convincing from my mom, we went to go see what animals were up for adoption. There were some older dogs and some younger dogs, but there was a litter of puppies in the corner that caught my eye. They were chocolate-colored Chihuahua mix puppies, and I fell in love. After a little bit more convincing to my mom, we ended up adopting who I now call my best friend, Mo. Adopting Mo has enriched my life in many ways, and I believe adoption can enrich your lives as well. There are a few other options about bringing a pet into your home and how to go about that other than adoption, but they aren't as good options. One of the options is a pet shop. Going into a pet shop, usually the cost of an animal is anywhere from $400 to $2,000 or more. When you get a dog or an animal from adoption, usually it's about $75 to $200 at most. With adoption, what you get is an animal that's completely spayed or neutered. All their shots are up to date. And depending on what facility you go to, you can get a starter pack to get your animal started in their new home with coupons or even vets that are listed in your area. Now, what you get with a pet shop with that $2,000 bill is a warranty. When I was younger, my family and I purchased a puppy from Puppies in Love, which is a pet shop in the mall. And when we went in to go pick up our little dachshund puppy, the owner of the shop was like, "Oh, yeah, him, well, he's at the vet with parvo right now, so, I mean, you can pick out another one if you want." Canine parvovirus is a virus that's found in puppies from 6 to 20 weeks of age and most of the time results in death. The reason why a lot of puppies in pet shops are in this kind of condition is because they purchase their puppies from puppy mills. Now, what a puppy mill is basically just that. It's a mill of puppies or a factory of puppies that has dogs that are in cages way too small for them, and then add about 3 or 4 dogs on top of that into that small cage. They barely have any water, they never get to set foot outside or on grass, and they live in their own feces. Now, this condition compared to an animal shelter, let's say Arizona Animal Welfare League, for example, or AAWL. Their shelter, their kennels are huge and spacious, and most of the time only have 1, 2, maybe 2 dogs per kennel. They always have fresh water, shade, and they always have clean kennels. They have large grassy areas for everyday play and meet and greets. Well, you might be thinking, oh, well, why don't I just go to a puppy mill and go save and purchase a puppy from there and take them out of that horrible environment? Well, that's not a good solution. That's just going to give them a reason to keep their business up. You're going to keep their business going. A lot of the times when adoption agencies hear about puppy mills or hear about someone who's abusing their animals in that way, they call the police and they do raids. So they raid the puppy mill and they take all those animals out of that situation and put them in an adoption center. Now, when you adopt from an adoption center, you might be getting a puppy mill puppy, or you might be making room for a puppy that needs a spot. Other solutions that you can do, or if you ever hear about a puppy mill, just report it. If you hear any activity at that, you're going to be saving animals from that horrible condition. You're also going to be preventing future abuse. Another thing you can do is speak openly about adoption. If let's say your friend is thinking about adopting an animal or purchasing an animal of some sort, let them know, hey, you know what, go to an adoption center and adopt an animal rather than purchase them. And let them know of the benefits and what conditions they are in different situations. Or if you're not ready for adoption yourself, maybe just volunteer. You can go to a local shelter and they accept volunteers with open arms. Picture this. What can an animal do for you? What can adoption do for you? Well, having an animal, it reduces stress, reduces your depression if you have it, enhances your mood, keeps your blood pressure down, and helps you socialize. It gets you out of the house. And it also, with that, it keeps you moving, gets you exercising, gets you in different social groups, either at the dog park or even just around your neighborhood. Now, I'm going to give you a challenge today. I'm going to challenge you to save a life. With adoption, you save money, you help put a stop to puppy mills and that kind of abuse, and you also save a life. I challenge you to take action. Put yourself out there and volunteer at a local shelter, or spread the word by just letting someone know that adoption is an option. I want you to maybe even adopt yourself. If you're looking for a new furry friend, adoption is a good place to start. A good starter, though, if you're not ready for any of that, is just go to www.humanesociety.com and just see if there's any local events or anything near you, or go to your local shelter to get started, and they'll definitely give you information, or maybe you'll find a new furry friend. Every pet needs a home. Why not yours?